USA Today is the place for a comprehensive look at. Bill Elliott is the leader of the Mountain Dew Southern 500 at Darlington. He's about to complete lap number 61 of 367. We should see some green flag pit stops here in just a little bit.
Yeah, I would think so. I think most of these guys are screaming for tires and adjustment right now.
Remember, they ran the first 20 laps of this race behind the pace car under the green and caution, so that pit window might be sliding back just a little bit. Let's make our singular call to the pits and dial up one Bill Weber.
We're going to take it through the pits, give you an update on how the guys in the top 10 are running, give you an update on their conditions and exactly what we expect on their pit stop. So let's start with Bill Elliott. Matt?
Bill Elliott chasing his 6th career Darlington victory, which would make him sole ownership as the winningest active driver here. Currently, the car is a little loose all the way through the corner. Reported that on lap 50. Right now, as crew chief Mike Ford reminded him, just raced the 44th driver out there. The racetrack. Bill.
Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car is a little tight in and a little loose off, but when he gets in the gas, he loves the way his car is handling. So it's a great start at Darlington for the 2nd straight race for this kid. As for the point leader, Sterling Marlin, his car has started to get a little loose, and the longer they run, strangely enough, the looser it gets. So they're going to try wedge and air pressure on the 40 car of Sterling Marlin. Jeff Burton continues his march forward. Remember the great run yesterday? Another good run today. Started 13th, has moved his way up to the 4th position, chasing the leader, Bill Elliott. So Jeff Burton talking to his crew chief right now, Frank Stoddard, about a possible track bar adjustment because he's just a little loose off. Marty?
Well, Dell Jr. just lost to 5th position, but he's still pretty happy with the car. He said a little bit free off, but then he says not too bad. He's pretty happy. They're about 10 laps from their pit stop, and 2 straight top 10s for these guys. They moved from 17th to 15th in the points, Bill.
It's going to be a pound of air out of both front tires for Ryan Newman. His car just a little tick tight, according to his crew chief, Matt Borland, so they'll make an air pressure adjustment. Marty?
Ricky Craven has marched from 16th up to the 7th position. They said the car was good, and it's getting better the longer they run. These guys had 3 straight top 10s between May and June, and they haven't had one since. They really need a good run today. Matt?
Marty, the last 11 races here, Dale Jarrett 8 top 5s, but the last 2, a 34th and 40th, trying to get back on his Darlington track right now. The car is tight all the way through the corner. Crew chief Todd Parrott reminding Dale Jarrett, just be smooth and save those tires. We'll fix the tightness. Meanwhile, the 6 car Mark Martin, the 93 winner of the Southern 500, they're already talking about an air pressure adjustment in the right front and also a wedge adjustment, possibly 2 rounds. The car is tight. Marty?
Well, Jeff Green's had a great run. Started 20th up to the 10th place, Matt. They are sliding the back of the car, but the front's sticking pretty well, and that's a pretty good key here at Darlington. Very happy with the car. Only 1 top 10 in the last 5 races. Another team that could use a good run today, Dave.
Marty, Matt Kenseth needs to pit in about 10 laps at their plan anyway. His car is very tight through turns 3 and 4. His crew chief told me this morning that they had a bad test when they came here. This is about where they expected to run. Bill?
Well, Jeff Gordon started 3rd, has fallen out of the top 10 now, currently scored in the 12th position. His car is tight. He's been talking about it basically since the first lap of green flag racing. We're going to make a wedge adjustment and an air pressure adjustment on the 24. Matt?
Bill, if you look at the sky, you can see an opening in the clouds, and that's not what Kevin Harvick wanted to see. He told me this morning he wants an overcast day all day. Right now, his car is extremely tight. They haven't talked about what adjustments to make to the 29 car. Dave?
Kyle Petty having a good run. He has been very quiet on the radio, saying nothing. He did tell his crew before this race started, when it is time to pit, remind me to pit very slowly. Not just because this is a tricky pit road, but because pit road might still be wet. Please remind me. The 18 car of Bobby Labonte right now is a little bit tight getting into the corner, a little bit loose when he steps back on the throttle. He just got passed by Robbie Gordon. They say they're going to make a track bar or a wedge adjustment to fix that next time Bobby comes in. Remember, he won here in 2000, Alan.
Robbie Gordon taking that spot away from Bobby Labonte. That was 15th place. Robbie started in 22nd.
And Rusty Wallace, a 2 car, has fallen all the way back to the 17th position.
I'll tell you, another guy that looks like he's struggling a little bit is Tony Stewart. He's back to the 20th position right now.
Guys that have made green flag pit stops already: Mike Wallace, Johnny Benson, Brett Bodine, Jeremy Mayfield, Tony Raines, Jerry Nadeau. And Tony just came back for a pass-through penalty for speeding, exiting his pit. Here comes the leader, Bill Elliott.
Also, the second place car of Jimmy Johnson is following Bill Elliott down pit road.
They'll all be in now.
Who got penalized?
Tony Raines, 74.
Oh, Tony Raines, okay.
Yeah. Why, did I say something wrong?
I thought you said Tony Stewart.
See John Andretti on pit. And we see the 40 car. Sterling Marlin has taken over the lead. Jeff Burton, 99 in second spot.
Getting a little pressure there. Bill Elliott's in, Matt.
He hits his marks perfectly. No adjustments for Bill Elliott. Remember, we told you his car was a little bit loose through the corners, but Mike Ford says no adjustments. A 4-tire change of fuel. As Ward and Pullman already going to work, and he is good to go.
They almost got your money,
Oh,
DP.
man, they're trying to get my money. 13.3. Ever.
Jimmy Johnson on pit road. Good stop so far. It's 4 tires, air pressure adjustment. He's on his way. This is when the avalanche of cars on pit road will begin.
Yeah, I got Kurt Busch in, Elliott Sadler, Ken Schrader, Ricky Rudd. Matt?
And Kurt Busch already made his way to pit road as a number of other cars are leaving. A 4-tire change. His car was a little bit loose. Thanks for air pressure. Bill.
Jeff Gordon working all the way down to the island on pit road, which is just down by turn 1. Remember, his car has gotten tight ever since we went green flag racing. Air pressure adjustment, wedge adjustment, around to the left side. One last week at Bristol, hoping to go for 2 in a row. Snyder.
Bill, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car we said was loose. It got looser the longer he ran. They put a round of wedge in and 4 tires. They had fallen back to 7th after getting up as high as 5th. Dave?
Chassis adjustment just made for Matt Kenseth. Now around to the left side. They've changed the right side tires already. He got a cool drink as well. 4 tires. Matt Kenseth is gone.
About all of the other leaders that had not pitted yet are on pit road now. Sterling Marlin, Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett, Ricky Craven, they're all coming in. There are Marlin and Burton pitting together. Bill, coming to you.
Now waiting for Sterling Marlin to make the long trip down pit road. Started on the pole, has the number 1 pit stall for the easy out in turn 1. Car's gotten a little bit loose. They're going to make a wedge adjustment. It's going in now in the left-hand side. It'll be 4 tires and all the fuel they can get in there. So Sterling Marlin waited. Everybody else basically on and off of pit road. Marlin gets his 4 tires. Matt.
Bill, Mark Martin is in, and service has already been completed. An air pressure adjustment in the right front, as well as a wedge adjustment. The team wanted him to come in around lap 67. Mark wanted to stay out and stretch the fuel.
And they've got to stay down on the apron of the racetrack until they get to the backstretch before they can blend in with the traffic.
So as they cycle around through the rest of the pit stops, Bill Elliott is going to hold on to the lead. Checking the interval he's got on Jimmy Johnson, it's going to be about 3.7 seconds. So great work by Elliott and his team. Adds, what, about a second onto his gap.
Great pit stop.
I mean, Jimmy Johnson came in and looked to be almost right behind Bill Elliott, just no more than a second behind him, and now he's 3 3/4 seconds. So yes, at least 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, it was about 1.7 seconds the lap before the stop, BP. So great job by Elliott's crew. First round of green flag stops are complete here at Darlington in the Mountain Dew Southern 500. Bill Elliott is the race leader here at Darlington.
I know it's up for me. You still have such a making sure I'm not in too deep. You still have such a keep bursting on my feet.
USA Today is the place for a comprehensive look at sports. Get all your racing stats, standings, and race recaps to keep you up to date with your favorite drivers. Pick up your copy of USA Today every day. Tomorrow's paper will feature who won the 53rd Mountain Dew Southern 500. Will it be that car and that driver on the cover? Bill Elliott, right now, has got a healthy advantage.
Pretty hooked up.
And he's done it before.
Check this out, the difference between the top 2. Bill Elliott, 683 Winston Cup starts. Jimmy Johnson, 27. Bill Elliott, 43 wins. Jimmy Johnson, 2. Bill Elliott has won the Southern 500 3 times. Jimmy Johnson makes his first drive in this classic today. 3.2 seconds between those top 2. Then it's a full 9 seconds back to third place Sterling Marlin. Jeff Burton, Ryan Newman, Dale Jarrett, they make up the top 6.
Yeah, Bill Elliott's got one of those cars, Benny, that if it stays green, he's going to have everybody up to the top 10 laps.
A lap down. I mean, right now he's working on Elliott Sadler, who's running in the 26th position.
But it's just kind of a continuation for Elliott. I mean, this team, the last, month and a half, 2 months, unbelievably impressive.
Yes, they have been very, very good.
You watch how smooth he is. When he comes off the corner, you don't see the car moving around or getting loose like a lot of other guys are. It's just he puts it where he wants it. He almost looks like he's going slow. That's how smooth that car is.
Bill Elliott ended July in Victory Lane at Pocono, started August in Victory Lane at the Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis. Kind of had some troubles the last few weeks, 21st, 22nd, and 17th at Watkins Glen, Michigan, and Bristol. But, Michigan, that performance that got him the Golden Benny there with the car jumping out of gear at 190 miles an hour.
That was an awesome job by Bill Elliott.
So Elliott continuing to lead here. He's been out in front since lap 45, except during the exchange of pit stops.
Here comes Jimmy Johnson.
And Bill Elliott right now is kind of being held up by Elliott Sadler and his teammate Jeremy Mayfield, allowing Jimmy Johnson to get a little bit closer. Last time by, 2.25 seconds behind.
Mayfield and Sadler are the last cars on the lead lap, so they can't afford to give any ground to Bill.
As a matter of fact, Sadler was able to get by Jeremy Mayfield. There he goes by.
I wonder if they're looking up saying, okay, teammate, get out of my way, or, I mean, if I was Jeremy, I sure wouldn't, because he's got to stay on the lead lap.
That was 5th place changing hands. Dale Jarrett moving up.
And Ryan Newman, wisely, as all people will tell him, race the racetrack, especially the first part of the race.
Dale Jarrett's best finish in the Southern 500, a couple of third-place runs. Here's a former winner of this race. Bill, Jeff Burton having a solid day.
Yeah, it looks like it.
If you feel like a good pull, we'll have to come and get 4. The race run on that set came from Bristol, and it had not been discounted. It might have lost the way to something, but we don't think so.
Kind of vibration, it sounds like.
That's his crew chief, Frank Stoddard, talking to Jeff Burton. And the problem is Burton has a vibration. He felt it as soon as he came off of pit road. They asked the crew if they got all the lug nuts tight. They said yes. Burton speculated it could be a wheel out of balance. Frank Stoddard asked him, is it getting any better? No. Is it staying the same? Yes. But again, I felt it as soon as I left pit road. They're telling him it's up to him if he has to come back in, but he's not very happy right now.
Well, I think he'll stay out there unless if it does get worse, Bill, then it's probably more than a weight. If it just stays consistent, you're right, it's probably a wheel weight. But, I mean, if it gets loose and the vibration really starts happening, that means they left the lug loose and the wheel's coming loose.
How much do points play into a decision like that for the driver? He's 13th in points. He's not going to win the championship this year. Does that ever factor in when you're trying to make a call like that from the cockpit?
I would say no.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, it might, in Sterling Marlin's case or Mark Martin's case, some guys in the top 3 in the points, but in this situation, I wouldn't think so.
He's got a good race car right now. He's running fast.
And the last time by, he was one of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
Jeff Burton running 4th now, 8.2 seconds behind leader Bill Elliott. Dale Earnhardt Jr. taking a spot away from Mark Martin. That was 11th place. And we're just over 100 miles of the 53rd Mountain Dew Southern 500 at Darlington. Bill Elliott is in command.